Hey, what is up, guys? This is Rich with Red Phone Video, and I'm going to talk to you about this movie, The Monster Squad. This just came out from Kino Lorber. This is a brand new 4K. So, for those of you who don't know about The Monster Squad, it's basically about a group of horror-obsessed kids. They all band together to stop Dracula and a bunch of monsters from taking over the world. They have to use, like, the power of an amulet and Van Helsing's diary. But they pretty much take on, the universal monsters like Wolfman, the Mummy, the Frankenstein monster, and the Gill Man, supposed to be like the creature from the Black Lagoon. But this movie was directed by Fred Decker, and it was written by Shane Black, who, of course, wrote Lethal Weapon and Last Action Hero. He played Hawkins and Predator. And he's written a lot of really good scripts. And Fred Decker, he directed Night of the Creeps, and he wrote the story for House. If you guys remember House, it's an awesome movie from 1986. Check it out. And then Fred Decker also directed RoboCop 3.
How may I help you, officer?
By resisting arrest.
The Monster Squad, of course, as we all know now, has a huge cult following. But when it first came out in 1987, it was made on a budget of $14 million, and it only ended up grossing $3.8 million at the box office. So when it first came out, it wasn't really that popular, but thankfully, over the years, through home video releases, this movie has definitely found its audience. The Monster Squad, this movie was something I grew up on, and of course, I'm always speaking from nostalgia about this one. I know it's not a perfect film, but I actually like it a lot better than The Goonies, which a lot of people compare it to The Goonies. I think the fact that this movie was about a bunch of horror kids was something that I really related to a lot. So this movie just speaks to me more than The Goonies. I love the special effects in this movie. I mean, of course, this was way before CGI. You basically just had practical effects and opticals. I love all the characters. I love the humor. I love all the set pieces and a lot of the sequences towards the end. My only complaint about the Monster Squad, and it's not a big one, it's the fact that this movie is too short. I mean, I think it clocks in at like 82 minutes, an hour and 22 minutes, which is fine. I mean, this movie moves at quite a clip. Pacing wise, it's perfect. It's just maybe we could have got a little more character development, maybe more scenes with the parents, maybe even a few more scenes with the kids. And I want to say Shane Black and Fred Decker's original script was longer. It may have been over like 140 pages, who knows. But anyway, I'm not complaining about the Monster Squad. I think it's fine. I mainly wanted to talk about the new 4K release of the Monster Squad from Kino Lorber. So I'm going to talk about the transfer. I'm going to talk about how this movie looked, how it sounded, and I thought all of that was fantastic. I didn't have any real big complaints about it. This is a massive upgrade when you compare it to the older Blu-rays of this movie. Like, there was a release from Olive Films that wasn't all that great, and then you had a release from Lionsgate, which was okay. The special features were awesome, and for a while they were out of print. But thankfully, all the stuff from the old Blu-rays, mainly the Lionsgate release, all that is included on this 3-disc special edition from Kino Lorber. So, special features, I'm going to get into those right now. So, the one new thing you get on here is you do get the Wolfman's Got Nards documentary, the 2018 documentary that was mainly shot during the film's 30th anniversary revival tour. And it's co-written and directed by the main actor in the movie, Andre Gower. Then, I believe the rest of these special features were available on the old Lionsgate Blu-ray, but of course that's out of print now, so anyway, you get the audio commentary by director Fred Decker and cinematographer Bradford May. Then you get another commentary with Fred Decker and all the actors. And then you get Michael Felsher's documentary, the Monster Squad Forever documentary. If you guys haven't seen that, it's really good. I suggest you check it out. It's got like interviews with Heather Langenkamp and like Seth Green, Joe Lynch, Adam Green, Chuck Russell, and it's really good. It's a good retrospective documentary worth checking out. Then you get a conversation with Frankenstein. This is an archival piece with Tom Noonan where he's got the makeup on for the Frankenstein monster. And then you have the animated storyboard sequence and deleted scenes and stills gallery. So those are the special features, and like I said, most of them were ported over from the 2009 Blu-ray that Lionsgate put out. But I do like this newly commissioned artwork that they provided on this release. This was from an artist named Abrar Ajmal, and basically what they did was they give you 2 different covers. And for those of you familiar with the original one-sheets, you did have the one sheet from the US and you did have the poster from the UK. Now, they kind of combined that, but what they did, I thought this was cool, is that they added little Phoebe here. So you get Phoebe on the cover, which you didn't have on the older releases. So I thought that was cool because Phoebe's part of the Monster Squad, you know. Then when you take this out of the slipcover here, you do get this artwork too. And this is the alternate poster, but of course you have Phoebe on the cover there. So that's pretty neat. So yeah, this is an awesome release from Kino Lorber. I highly recommend the Monster Squad. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely pick this release up. It's definitely a massive upgrade over this release here, and a major upgrade over this release here, which I hated this Blu-ray release from Olive. I don't mean to put it down. I kind of miss Olive Films. They're not around anymore. But this release was bare bones. It didn't have anything on it, just had the film. And this release here, it's presented in HDR10, Dolby Vision. Like I said, looks great. Sounds great. You basically get a 5.1 mix, which I'm not a big fan of because I've seen this movie so many times as a kid. I watched it on VHS. So if you're a purist, it does come with the 2.0 stereo track. And the dialogue sounded more crisp and clean to me on the stereo track, but maybe that's just me. I'm not a huge audiophile. I did switch to the 5.1. I listened to it a little bit. The 5.1 sounded great. It sounded real full. But I do like, most of the time I end up liking mono tracks and stereo tracks. I like everything kind of drawn to the center where the dialogue's clear. But really no big complaints about the sound. I don't have any complaints about the picture. I did notice while I was watching this 4K that a lot of the dark scenes I was able to make out a lot more detail that I'd never seen before. So that was pretty refreshing because I noticed when I watched this movie on DVD or VHS back in the day, it looked a little washed out. You know, it looked a little hazy, especially in all the nighttime scenes where they're fighting like the mummy and the Wolfman. And a lot of the daytime scenes, like when they're at school or when they're in the tree house or when they go to the scary German guy's house, a lot of those scenes seemed like kind of blown out to me back in the day. But again, I was watching inferior transfers back then. Those were, you know, it was VHS, it was DVD. But on the Blu-ray, I mean, the Blu-ray looks good, but like I said, this is just a massive upgrade. I highly recommend it. The Monster Squad kicks ass. So yeah, this 4K release of the Monster Squad is really impressive. It proves once again that Kino Lorber continues to do the Lord's work by putting all the time and effort into a lot of these new releases that honestly most boutique labels probably couldn't keep up with. So that is it. That's my review. Those are my thoughts on the Monster Squad. Definitely pick that movie up. It's got nards. It's fun. It's a perfect blend of horror, comedy, and adventure, and, you know, it's great. But that is it, guys. You've been listening to Rich with Red Phone Video, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you like this kind of stuff, if you like physical media and movie talk, that's all I do on here. So stab the like button, subscribe to my channel if you'd like, and I will catch you guys in the next video.